I am so sad to have to be doing this again. I just went through all my crochet stuff. I made a cute little video for Facebook and it's too long, so now I have to redo it and put it on here. So if that's where you came from my Facebook, welcome. This is my YouTube channel. I post here semi-regularly about things that probably nobody else cares about but me. So we're gonna go through all this massive pile of stuff again, and then at least I can put it back in the bin where it came from. I keep it in this huge storage bin and it's full, so it's time to go through it and get rid of what I have in there. Just a forewarning, Brutus is running around the floor where I'm sitting, so if I get distracted, it's probably looking at him trying to climb on my stuff. And I have my ruler. Some people like to know the measurements of stuff that they buy before they buy it, which I completely understand. I wasn't gonna say pricing in the video on Facebook because then people could have just messaged me. I'm not gonna say prices here either because people get really mad when you price your stuff for what it's worth. And I know I've seen some people on like the Instagram that I have for my crochet stuff, they buy the most expensive products to make their stuff with so they can upcharge. That's not right. And I know some people, you know, new beginners, I did it too when I first started, undercharge for their stuff. And so I'm going to put, I guess, the link down below to message me on my Instagram if you see something you're interested in. I will or am willing to ship stuff within the states, even though I don't want to because I don't have a job right now and I can't really afford shipping fees. I would have to add them to the charge of the total of the price. If you know me in person, you can just message me on Facebook and I'll tell you what the prices are or what I would be willing to take for them. So let's just get started. So luckily that I've already went through it, I took out what I'm not willing to sell and one item that I'm gonna give to Goodwill. I will say a lot of it is hats because that's what I make when I am feeling burnt out from crocheting. I just make hats just to use up scrap yarn, but also to help me get out of like a creative block. And I also want to say none of these patterns of the stuff that I've made are mine. They have all been found for free online or I've bought them. I think all the ones here that I found are for free. If you go to my Instagram that I'm going to link down below, you can see usually on each post I try to put in who made the pattern so you can get it for yourself. So I want to start with the hats just because there are so many of them, and then we'll do the cool the amigurumi stuff after. Okay, so I have this dark purple hat, and then I have two light purple hats that have, why do they look like that though? Hold on. That have already been tagged, and so they're ready to go. I will say I do charge for hats $15 if they're already tagged. And I think just to keep it fair, the other hats are also going to be $15 because why would I charge more or less for what I've already said? These ones, this one, and these two are made out of a cotton yarn, so it's kind of thin. This one I did one layer of, or like one strand of yarn as I was putting it on the loom. This one I did two. So it's a lot more sturdy. It feels like it would be warmer than this one would be because this one has less yarn in it and this one. But by the time you fold up the brim and, you know, paired with like your hair, it probably would still be warm enough to wear in the winter. So these are all like hand-dyed, hand-spun yarn, but I bought them on sale, so I'm not going to charge full price for the yarn because I only got them for like $3 or $4 each, and that is the only time that I will ever be buying hand-dyed and hand-spun yarn because otherwise it's too expensive. So this one, I'm pretty sure this yarn came from Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby. They are Christian owned and operated, and that's why I love shopping in there. Never seen anything that has to do with pride. It makes my heart happy. Actually, I don't want to talk about that here. This one reminds me of like those, what are those things called? Where like if you have like a heat gun on something and you can see the different degrees of heat, that's what this yarn reminds me of. I'm pretty sure this one came from Walmart. I don't know how I feel about the pom-pom. I might take it off, but you know, that's that. So stick these in here as I go. And then I have this one. Some of these are from me just trying to use up the last like cake of yarn. So they come out a little long, which means you'd have to just fold up a wider brim and it would be okay. So this one is what I'm talking about. That's pretty long. It basically covers my whole arm. So you would have to fold up the brim pretty high. I was thinking this one, honestly, I might just take it apart and make like 2 hats out of it. I probably could get like 2 kid-size hats maybe, but I'm not gonna take it apart right now. This one is made out of scrap yarn, 2 different types of striped, like variegated yarn. So this on the front side, you can see down here where it changes color scheme, and then so this side is different colors. I love when the hats turn out to be like perfectly reversible. This one almost made it perfectly. It was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 9 or so rows short of being perfectly reversible. So this one, which is very like pastel, almost like baby blanket colors. This one I had very blue. This one actually did turn out to be perfectly reversible. So on this side it has like this teal color and like a slate kind of cobalt color, and then this darker blue, and then on the inside it has a dark blue, a light blue, and then the same cobalt color. So, or whatever color this would be. It kind of looks more like a periwinkle compared to this side than it does to the other side. So this one turned out to be perfectly reversible. I thought that was pretty cool. And I didn't notice till I took off the loom and I, was making it, tying it all together. And I turned it inside out and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. That it turned out, without me planning it, it turned out perfectly reversible. So this one, my camera is actually being very true to color right now, which I'm surprised. These are the exact colors of this hat. So that one whole stack of hats already in there. This one, I was just trying to get rid of this yarn. I don't like this texture of yarn. It's very soft. On the knitting loom, it worked fantastic. On like crochet hooks, my hook caught every other stitch and it was just awful. And so this one, you would probably have to put a pretty big brim on this one to get it to not look silly on your head. But this one's available. Or if you want to just take it and take it apart, that's fine too. I would not be upset if you chose to do that. This yarn is very, it's not very stiff, so it's kind of flimsy. I don't think it would sit right on anyone's head, so that one is going to go in there. Okay, oh, I have a few more. I have 3 more hats. This one turned out to be kind of reversible. It looks like it's different shades of blue on the camera, doesn't it? But in person, it doesn't look like that. I think it's supposed to be an ombre because it is darker at the top than it is at the bottom. See? And then down here you can see where it changed colors. And then on the inside, it is fully this color. Like this green speckled kind of color. So you could just... You probably wouldn't do it this way because that looks kind of silly. You would probably wear it on this side. And then just fold the brim up to have that other color on the outside. So, I'm not gonna lie, I would be pretty upset if someone bought something from me and then took it apart to use the yarn because I still put forth the effort to make it. But at the same time, like you're buying it and I can't stop you from doing with it what you will. So, I really like the way this one turned out. A spiral on the loom. This one is so cool. If I was a hat person, I would definitely keep this one. I do have some hats that I made for myself that I am not selling, but I will still show you what they are. And so I have a thing, an affinity for two-tone hats. They have an iron grip on my heart. So I have a black and green one, not inspired by Billie Eilish. Okay, I don't like Billie Eilish, I just like this color combo. And then this one I made to wear around like February, like Valentine's Day, red and pink. So those two are for me. Also, I found this in there. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I think it was the beginning of a bucket hat that I didn't finish. And I don't know why. So that, I might take that apart and do something else with it. And then this one, this is definitely a scrap yarn hat because it's all different colors. This one is crocheted. It wasn't made on the loom. I can just tell by looking at it that I crocheted it. And so It's definitely a one of a kind, that's for sure, because it's just a bunch of scraps put together. So like some variegated yarns. But I like the theme of blue yarns. So that's the last hat. We made it. So let's see, what do I want to do first? I have to get all this stuff to fit back in there. Dang. Okay. Start with this one. So I went through like a phase of making crochet weapons. So this is called a Morning Star, and it's a medieval weapon, but it comes from, the name comes from like the German term, I'm probably not gonna say this right, but I think it was like Morgenstern, and then, you know, it made its way into English and they called it the Morning Star, and that's what this is called. This is a foam ball in here, a real chain, and then on the inside of the handle it has a wooden dowel, so it does actually have some girth to it. This is not heavy, but it's dense, so like, it can be swung. I wouldn't swing it, but it can be swung lightly. Don't go whacking anybody with stuff I've made, okay? I do not condone crochet violence unless it's necessary. The next and only final, I only made 2 for some reason, was, I think it's just because I had leftover supplies. Like, these both have wooden dowels in them. I was like, what can I make just to use up these supplies so they don't just sit in my room? And I thought I could make nunchucks. And so I used this silver yarn for both of them that has like tinsel in it, so it is kind of sparkly to give off the idea of it being metallic, but they're not, it's not real metal. I mean, the chain is, but the yarn is not. So, nunchucks. And then, I'm trying to make this fit in there as we go. Okay. I don't know, I don't want to like smash anything, but I know I'm going to have to smash it down in there to get it to fit because I have so much big stuff. I made these bob-ombs, but I guess from being smashed in there, his key came loose, and so I'm going to have to fix that. And I also have a little one, a little bob-omb. So I think what I'm going to do, since I'm remaking the Mario Brothers series, I think what I'm going to do is fix those, and I'll just sell them with this series. I don't make these patterns, okay? If you want to look her up, I believe her name is Lynette, and she is from Spain. Her channel on here is called Greta Wings in English. That's the channel name. She made an English channel for those of us who don't speak Spanish. I made Princess Peach's arms posable. I've been very into posable limbs lately. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's because I want her to be able to hold a mushroom, because she is the queen of the toadstools. And then so I've made her with her dress, and then like her underskirt are both fully removable, although I don't know why you would need to take them off. So, and then it's just laced up in the back. I just tie it together with some yarn. And then her little shoes are removable too, but I tied them on in a way that it would be kind of tedious to put them back on, so hopefully they won't come off. Whoever ends up buying this. What I want to do is make this series and save it for when the county fair comes next year and enter it in, and then I would probably be interested in selling it after then, so now I have to wait. I have to hold on to this whole series for a whole year. Her head's kind of wobbly. She does have a wooden dowel in her neck though, but just her head is pretty big. She's pretty big. She's just shy of 2 feet, I think. And I made a little toad, and that's all I've made so far. So I have Mario and Luigi left, and then I think I'm gonna make like some power-up mushrooms. And then the lady that released the patterns, Lynette, she has, since I've last made them, put out a pattern for Bowser. That one looks so complicated. I don't even know if I could do that one, honestly. And then one for Yoshi. And I think that's it so far past what she already has out. So I'm gonna finish that soon, hopefully, if I don't end up procrastinating on them. So after that we have, let's see. I have this really big bunny that is, I think, a little over 2 feet. I've already measured him. I guess I could do it again. Let's see. So from the top of the ears to, yeah, just shy of 2 feet. And I made this specific pattern. Reminds me of someone. This is a pattern from Jess Huff. I really like her patterns. They're so easy to follow, and she is so creative. If you look up Jess Huff on Google, you have to put in Jess Huff amigurumi, because if you just put in Jess Huff and look it up, something not appropriate comes up. Yes, I learned that the hard way. Yes, I was mortified. So this reminds me actually of a lady that I had been making these patterns for, or these bunnies, this specific pattern, but not these colors. And at first I was like, you know, okay, if you're gonna pay me for them, what I'm asking, then why not make them for you? And then it just got really weird over time. It was like she was wanting this, everything I made her was the same pattern. And I was like, I don't really care that much about it being the same thing, because, you know, they're pretty easy to make. But then it became, I noticed, like, she always wanted them to be either like boy or girl bunnies, which I'm fine, whatever, putting a dress on them or putting pants on them. But she always wanted it to be like a very specific color scheme, and she just kept saying, oh, they're for my grandkids. And I'm like, how many grandkids do you have that want the exact same thing in different colored clothes? That is so sketchy to me. And so me and my mom finally came to the conclusion, because I was sharing this with her, that the lady could possibly be reselling my stuff, that she's taking in orders and she's reselling them, and I just did not like the idea of that at all. So once I finished her last order and delivered them, I just deleted my OfferUp profile. That's where I was selling them, through OfferUp. And it also had become so tedious because she only spoke Spanish and I only speak English, and I was the only one doing the work to Google Translate everything and respond, and I just felt like, you know, this payout's not really worth it. So she was always very kind, always paid me well, always just, you know, gave me a little extra for my efforts, and I'm like, this is just so strange. Anyways, I thought, you know, this video needed a story time in the middle. So next we have little Snoopy. This was so easy to make, and he is so cute. I was gonna make Woodstock, and I don't have the right yellow colored yarn, but I wonder if I could use leftover what I have from Princess Peach's hair to go with him, and then I would sell them together. I think I might have to do that. So he is from foot to the top of the head, just under 10.5 inches. I don't really know how to read all the lines on a ruler. Okay, don't come for me. So, okay, I just want to, I'll put this back in after. I'm going to start with this. I feel like bees are something every beginner crochet artist starts with, because they're just so easy to make. And when I'm going through crochet burnout, I make hats, or I make something that's just really simple. And this bee with his floppy little wings is one of them. He's chunky though, like almost the size of my head, and I have a big head full of a big brain. Not to toot my own horn, but it's true. So just shy of 7 inches in length, and then in height like 4.5 inches. So super cute. I like bees. I mean, they're fun to make for sure, but if that's all you ever make, you're never gonna grow as an artist if you're just always making the same thing over and over. So this little Piggly Wiggly birthday hat pig. What are you doing? Trying to go blind? Stop it. Why is it? Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. It was behind one ear on one side and in front of the ear on the other side. Anyways, this is a little piggy wearing your birthday hat. Obviously, the birthday hat is optional. You can take it off and just have a pig, but it was part of the pattern, so obviously I made both. So let's see, lengthways about 8 inches. He's pretty big. It's not as small as it looks. He's pretty big. And then height-wise, from the foot to the top of the hat, about 9.5 inches. So you're gonna go right there. Oh, don't forget his little tail, his little curly tail. So I have to make this all fit in there because I have to put the lid back on it. So I will be the first to say I hate Chanel yarn, and someone donated to me a bunch of Chanel yarn. Don't get me wrong, I am so grateful when someone considers me while getting rid of yarn. I just don't like to work with this. And so I used this one yarn with these 3 different colors in it, and I made some peaches. So these will probably end up going to Goodwill, because who's going to want to buy a crochet peach? Probably nobody. I made them just to use up the yarn. And then I made this goose, massive goose, that she's supposed to come with a hat, and I have it right here, but when I made it, I don't remember it coming out this small. I think this is for a different one that I made that was smaller, and it actually sat on the head. This, I would have to make it bigger, because that doesn't look right. Unless you're into geese wearing comically small hats, then this is for you. So this goose is not including the hat, because I'm not sure that that's the one that's supposed to be with this pattern. From the foot about I don't know if the hat comes with it or not, and it's kind of driving me nuts. So about 18 inches tall. This is about 18 inches. With the hat, maybe 19 inches, but I'm not sure that the hat goes with it. If someone bought it, I probably would include the hat, just because, like, the hat is included in the pattern, but I don't know if if this specific hat I made to go with that specific goose, because I had it first made a smaller one, and then once I saw, like, okay, the pattern's pretty easy, I made a bigger one. I made 2 different hats, and I think this one was supposed to go with the other goose. And then when my mom chose it to give to one of her coworkers as a present, she just took the purple hat that I had made like this. So I just have a random hat, but it could still go with that goose. Oh, my legs hurt. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm getting old, okay? Okay, next we have this purple dinosaur with his drumstick legs and black spikes. This is a T-Rex with little bitty arms. So from foot to head, I would say like 13.5 inches. It was barely past the end of the ruler, but oh, I would say the bunny that I showed you, the massive one, is pretty heavy because it's so big and it's full of polyfill. So if you have a kid that has like sensory issues and they like weighted toys, that one would be good for you. I will say everything that I have in here as of right now is one of a kind. I don't have 2 of anything in there except for the hats. So if you wanted me to make something, you would have to request it of me to make it, and of course I would, you know. And you know what I've been seeing? A lot of people who crochet with the intent of shipping it all over the place, they charge a down payment, which I think is so smart, because you have no way of guaranteeing someone's going to pay for something that they have commissioned of you, you know, until you receive the money. So this is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I didn't notice until like 3/4 of the way through the pattern that her shoes and her leggings are not the right color according to her actual character design. But I still think she came out super cute. Her apron is fully removable, and she's holding this mushroom, which you can just take out, but for the sake of character, she's holding it. And then her little... I also noticed that her character does not have a bow on the headband, but that's okay because she's still super cute. She was supposed to have green eyes, though, and I only had blue ones. But I feel like they suit her because they match her dress. But from a distance, you can't even see that they're blue. But up close, they are. Her eyes are blue. And for those of you saying, where's her mouth? A lot of amigurumi patterns don't come with mouths, which is just like yarn looped through there anyways. A lot of them don't come with mouths just because it tends to look so weird. If you put a mouth on them, it looks strange. So a lot of them tend not to get mouths. And then my last 2 things I have are this Oogie Boogie. For once I am up with the, like, on trend with the season. Oogie Boogie. And his semi-posable arms, they have pipe cleaners in them. So I guess the only part that would really be posable would be like from here down. Although his whole arm does have a pipe cleaner in it, he's just so bulky that it's hard to get them to stay bent. So this is what I really want to do, is go to Walmart, just because it's close to me, get some like twine and crochet him with that, just so he would feel a little more realistic. Obviously that one would be for display only, because that would be horrid to hold. It would be so itchy. If I could get actual burlap strips, that would be cool, but I feel like that would make such a mess, because burlap is it sheds. The material itself sheds a lot. So this one, he is just shy of 11 inches from the top of his little, what would you call this? His hair. He doesn't have hair, but I'm going to call it his hair. He's my favorite character out of the entire franchise of The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then, for some reason, I chose to make this little chicken. And he has posable legs as well. They have like jewelry wire in them, so they're posable as well. So with his legs completely extended to the top of his head, a little over 11 inches. And so honestly, if you wanted to, you could just take the legs off and then use this as just like a centerpiece on a table. If you decorate for like harvest and you wanted to use this, you could do that. And I am so glad that I made these all fit in here. So I'm going to give it a while. If nobody hits me up to buy anything, for one, I will be sad. Not that I want the money, just that I need to get rid of these, and I don't want all this hard work going to Goodwill, and I don't want to get another bucket and fill it up and take up more room in the garage. So I'm probably gonna this one can go back in here. This key is not loose, so this one can just go back in there. This one is gonna stay out. What I might do is use some like glue, some like craft bond, and just it on there, get it to stay. My nose is itching. So, oh, and there was one more that I took out that I'm gonna give to Goodwill just because it looks kind of frumpy, like from being smashed down in here. It's a red long-necked dinosaur. I don't really know what you would call them, but it's over there somewhere. And then that's everything that I have made recently. This, I think I'm going to take this apart. And then these hats, the ones that I wear, this one's for somebody else, are not for sale, so they're just going to go back in the bucket as well. I wish I was more of a hat person, because that one that came out in the spiral, that one is so cool. And I would definitely wear it. And the time that the lid was sitting here, it got covered in bird feathers and seed kernels. Thank you for that, birds. Appreciate it. So, luckily it does all fit in the bin. Barely. It is full to the brim. So, please go down to the description if you're watching this and you don't know me in person. Feel free to message me on my Instagram. And we can discuss pricing there. If you do know me in person, just message me on Facebook. That's fine. I will try to answer as soon as I can. I don't really use Facebook anymore. I'm more of an Instagram person. But thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I am very impressed. Okay, have a good day.